Hello, everyone, right here, and you know what that little blue line alongside the combine means? That's right, everyone. We have the guidance steering mod from Whoopster. For those who are familiar, this is the same mod that was available back in Farming Simulator 19 as well. Again, everyone, this is not the vehicle control add-on mod. This is the actual guidance steering mod by Whoopster. It is available on the official Farming Simulator mod hub. I'll also try to put a download link down below in the description there as well for you folks to download it. One caveat, I'm sure with this, everyone, I very much doubt this is available for consoles. Being that it is a scripting mod, everyone, I'm sure this is probably a PC only mod. Which, so yeah, sorry console users, it's I'm sure it's PC only, being a script mod. But anyway, everyone, for those of you on the PC at least, we've got GPS. Guidance steering is out, and I'm going to kind of quick run through how to run the guidance steering mod. For those of you who are familiar with it from Farming Simulator 19, it's the same thing. Nothing's really changed. I mean, it looks a little bit different, but other than that, everyone, pretty much the same mod as it was back in Farming Sim 19. For those of you maybe brand new to the game and or have never used guidance steering before, well, you are missing out. At least in my opinion, everyone, this is what really makes the game a lot more fun, in my opinion. Now you got something that kind of helps you steer, and does so very accurately, I would say, especially in jobs where you're spraying and fertilizing and stuff like that. So anyway, first off, everyone, I've already got a line set up here. And once you have your line set up, I'm going to lock onto the line. You notice the line turns green. It's kind of hard to see. I know it's down in the crop there. But you're going to push Alt-X. So Alt-X is going to lock you on to the steering line, auto steer. If you want to take that off, everyone, you can either push Alt-X again, or you simply just steer, and it will automatically take the line off, and you're pretty much on your own again. However, everyone, before we get to that, there's a couple things we need to do first. So let's stop with the harvesting right here. We'll get to the end, because I mean, let's finish the row, right? Okay, first things first, everyone. Let's go visit the shop here. For those of you familiar again with guidance steering, everyone, you actually need to purchase GPS on your tractor. So when you go to buy a tractor, everyone, you need to buy it with GPS. And let's see, how about a nice 8RX? That seems like a good tractor to purchase, right? And let me get this real quickly configured here. I'm going to put that on the US configuration. Rest of it looks good. Well, actually doesn't. Let's put a front weight on it. There we go. Okay, that looks much, much better. Much better. We'll bump it up to the 410 here too. Anyway, none of that's important, everyone. What is important is the additional shop option down here. This should be on most of your drivable equipment, by the way. And that option is the GPS. So you see right now it says no, which actually, interesting enough, doesn't actually take that globe off, does it? It stays up there. But GPS, no. We will actually want to set that to yes. And now the GPS will be enabled for this tractor. Keep in mind, that's an additional $15,000 per tractor. Yes, per tractor. That was always kind of a complaint back in 19 too. Everyone got to pay $15,000 per piece of equipment for GPS, which for one piece of equipment is probably cheap. But when you start adding up for multiple pieces, and the fact in real life you can usually transfer it a little bit, and boy, it gets expensive. Anyway, buying the tractor. And then let's buy a piece of equipment to go with it here. Probably just, I don't know, like a cultivator or something like that. Oh, how about a nice disc harrow? Nope, we don't have a horsepower for that. How about the horsepower for that one? There we go. That'll work. Okay. Let's hop over to the shop here. Everyone will grab this. And then we'll head out to the field. And I'll meet you folks at the field. Okay, but now that we're at the field here, I want to draw your attention down to the bottom right corner of the screen there. You see the gears, and then up above that, everyone have those little grayed out icons there. That is our GPS or guidance steering options. That'll tell us what's turned on and what's basically what's all going on, shall we say. If you notice, everyone, at this point, they're all grayed out. That does indicate, by the way, this tractor has GPS. If we have tab to a tractor that doesn't, you notice, everyone, this tractor does not have that little HUD. Back to this tractor, there's that HUD. So first things first, everyone, you want to do Alt-C. Once you do Alt-C, everyone, you'll notice it turns on a couple of the blue icons. They're a little like GPS signal and a couple of the line symbols there. Again, turn it back off. So it turns those two symbols on, everyone. Once you do Alt-C, this means the guidance steering mod is active. Now we can do Control-S. So again, follow along on the controls here. I'm going to try to put the controls up on the screen, by the way, just so you folks can see those controls as well. Control-C, Evan, brings up the menu here for guidance steering. And we got two different pages on that, by the way. So we got our general settings and then our line settings, I guess we could say. In my case, I've already created 2 lines. We got a 0-degree line and a 90-degree line. Typically, the way I like to use GPS, Evan, this is all I typically ever create for guidance steering. Depending on how complicated or fancy you folks want to get to it, you can create all different angles, all different widths. It's pretty much up to you, Evan. To keep it simple, I like to just create a 0-degree and a 90-degree. Plus, again, if you folks want to add some additional angles in there, you can. So in order to do that, Evan, back on the settings page here, really nothing you got to mess with here necessarily yet. Once you got your piece of equipment connected, you can do auto width, and we'll get into some of the offsets here in just a moment. But first, let's create a line. By default, everyone, the default way to create a line is using A plus B. So you set an A point, you drive to B point, and you set your B, and then it'll create a line in between. So we're going to start with that one. So set our A point. We're currently at A, and then I'm just going to quickly drive over to the end of the field here. Probably won't go to the end. We'll just go a little ways here. Okay, that looks good for purposes. And then we'll set our B. So now, everyone, we have a line here between A and B. And if I did a good job driving straight, it should be straight with the field. Also, with this, everyone, you can have the setting here to snap to terrain angle. So with snap to terrain angle, it should snap it to the closest. I think it's like 22.5 degrees. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I believe it's 22.5 degrees by default. So again, 22.5 degrees. So that's one way of creating a line. That is not, I would say, the easiest way to create a line, though. So we're going to back this back up here. Back to the beginning. And just because we can, we'll create one with a little bit different angle here. So back to our settings, Control S. Let's see once. I might have to clear this out. We'll see once here. We're going to go with line method A plus heading. So all we're going to do in this case, everyone, is we're going to set A. And then it's going to ask us what angle we want this, what degrees. We're just going to do, how about we do, what shall we do? 22.5? We'll do 20.20. Oh, I guess we can't do 0.5. Okay, 22. I guess 22 is as close as we can get. We'll set that angle. And now when we should have, you can see it going across the field there. Not quite the angle I wanted. That's also not quite the angle. We need like a negative 22. Let's see if we get a negative 20. Let's do that. Can I do negative? I can. There we go. I think that should give me the angle I want. No, it does not. I want an angle facing the tractor's direction here, which is, what is that angle? Okay, 243. By the way, if you ever wonder what angle your tractor's facing, I'm going to go look in the bottom corner of your map. So on the little mini map on the left side there, we are currently 243. So yeah, that'll work. Let's do that. Control S back here, set A. We'll do 243. There we go. That's kind of the angle I was going for. And that, in my opinion, is the easiest way to create a line. Just do your A plus your heading. You can pick the degrees. In my case, everyone, like I said, I like to do a 0-degree and a 90-degree course and call it good. And then once you have that, everyone, you can then give it a name. So we're going to call this 243-degree course. So 243 degree. Push enter. And then we're going to click the little plus here, and it will be added to the list. And then, of course, pretty much everything after that. You can trash can it. You can edit it. You can rotate it 90. That's pretty much, I would say, self-explanatory, right? There's no other line strategy options yet. This was something that supposedly in 19 we're going to be able to do curve lines. We'll see if that happens in 19 or in 22 here. That would be nice, but I won't hold my breath on that. That's how you create a line, Evan. Now over to the settings here. We have our width options. First off, you can just do auto width, and that should automatically get the width of the implement you're using. That may or may not work. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Mixed results with that. If it doesn't work, everyone, you can increase or decrease the width. Basically, you set how much you want it to increase or decrease the width by. So if I hit the minus here at this point, everyone, and it's set on 1.6, it's going to decrease this by 1.6 feet. That's how that works. Or if I change it to that, it is going to decrease it by 0.328 feet. I think the biggest is what? Yeah, 3.28. I don't know why it's such a weird number. Not sure on that one, but if you hit the plus, it's going to add 3.28 feet to that. So there it goes to that, right? So that's how that works. Offsets, this is like if you're going to be probably plowing or maybe rock picking might be a good example of this. You can set your offset off to the side there. Again, when you're rock picking, everyone, the rock picker's off to the side of the tractor. So that's what that is for. Over on this side of it, we've got line steering or guidance steering, it is enabled. That's because I am currently locked on to the auto steer is on. Show lines. If you don't want to see the lines, you can turn that off. Line offset. I believe that's the height off the ground, so we can crank that up. Yep, see that? A little bit higher there. So if you're in crops that are already grown, now you can bump that up. Snap terrain angle. That's probably more useful if you're creating A and B lines, everyone. It will snap you to the closest terrain angle. So maybe you're a little crooked when you drive it. Maybe you want to be a little crooked, by the way. Make sure you turn that off if you do that. But if you're trying to drive straight, Evan, and you're off by just a little bit, don't worry about it. The snap terrain angle here will snap you to the closest, which, like I said, I think is every 22.5 degrees. So that's what that's for. And again, if you don't want that, make sure you turn that off. Offset reversal. I believe this is like plowing. So when you turn your plow over, everyone, you actually are flipping your offset. So keep that in mind. Headland. This will auto stop the tractor once you get to the headland. That's really all it does. So stop or off. And then the distance from the stop. Mixed results on that as well. Use at your own risk there. Just mention that. So anyway, with that, everyone, that is the guidance steering mod here. There are some other key controls to keep in mind here as well. Let's say you want to shift the line over just a little bit. You're not quite where you want to be. Alt page up and page down will slowly move that line over. Alt end, everyone will rotate that line. We'll rotate it back straight there. Alt home, everyone. So let's just slide over here just a little bit. Let's say you want to be over here. Alt home will realign the line to the tractor. There we go. And then Alt R is supposed to detect the width of your equipment, everyone. For some reason, Evan, that does not work for me. Alt R does not work. I will mention it, Alt R. If it works for you, everyone, great. It does not work for me. So I just thought I'd mention that, throw that out there. And again, Evan, I'm going to try to put the rest of the controls up on the screen here. And you can, of course, go down to the keyboard or the controls down in the settings there and find them as well. So with that, everyone, that is the guidance steering mod. Oh, I forgot to mention the most important one, Alt X. Alt X locks the line on and off. I think I forgot to mention that. So there we go, Alt X for locking the line off. So again, everyone, that's Alt C for turning on guidance steering on and off. Control S for opening up and closing the menu. And then Alt X for locking on the line. And you can see it turns green when you lock onto the auto steer line there. So with that, everyone, that's going to wrap it up for the video here. You folks have any comments or questions about this, be sure to leave them down below. And as always, thanks for watching. Until next time.